Hello again. This one's going to be quick. So, when you post a lot of items, your eBay account loses its ability to properly track how many items you have. This seems to start happening in somewhere in the tens of thousands because it didn't used to happen to me before I kind of hit the $1 million, tens of thousands kind of account limit point. So let me show you my account limits really quick so I can show you exactly what I mean by this. Right now you can see that my limit is $4.5 million or 90,000 items. And as far as eBay is concerned, I have 39,000 items posted and $2.5 million listed, right? But if I show you my actual in-stock items, I have 55,000. So that number is off by almost 20,000 listings. No, sorry, 16,000 listings because it's almost 40. And keep in mind, this includes items that sold, but I don't sell thousands of things in a month, so I can almost ignore that. We can assume maybe like, let's see, 20 a day, if that. So you can assume 1,000 in a month is from sold items, right? Now, that's a pretty big difference, isn't it? 16,000 items. That means that I could post actually more than 100,000 items on this eBay account just because it seems to be unable to properly track them. And I still haven't figured out exactly how this happens, but it is regular. And I've called eBay to have them fix it because I don't want them to think that, oh, hey, like I want an account limit increase, but I'm only using like a third of my listings. Sometimes it's even worse than this. Once when I had like 20,000 listings, it thought that I had 5. Like there's something that happens when you get big that screws up eBay's ability to measure yourself. It's very weird. And I don't know if it has something to do with repricing listings, because there's a couple factors here. Keep in mind that when something is out of stock, it doesn't count towards either one of these metrics. So it counts as $0 posted. If a $100 item goes back in stock, your dollar limit's going to go down by $100. And it also counts as 0 quantity because 0 of it is available, right? And then there are certain categories that selling limits do not apply in. The most notable one of these is called business and industrial. So theoretically, from a very basic account, you could post hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands and thousands of items in business and industrial, as long as they actually were items of that category, and you wouldn't have to deal with account limits. That is something that is doable. I've never looked into it, but I know that it's a thing. And there's 2 other categories that are unlimited. I don't remember what they are, and they're much harder to post things into. Business and industrial, you can find a decent amount of products to post, whereas the other 2 categories, one's like automotive parts or something, and then freight items or something like that. But so let's see. I was just talking about this, how it doesn't seem to be accurate, obviously. And I guess I should give you more history about this. So I've dealt with this 3 separate times, and every time eBay can fix it. Like, I guess they have somebody manually look at it and then change it, but give it a month and this glitch will start happening again. And I don't know why it happens, and it's kind of frustrating because I always tell them, and then what happens is doing that, I tell them when I call to get a limit increase, and I'm like, hey, my account limits don't currently reflect this. And every time I do that, the limit increase request just disappears and my account limits get fixed, and then I have to call them again. It's really weird. So now I just don't even tell them that it's happening because literally every time it just delays it, it fixes it for now, and then in the long run it just starts happening again. So it's really in my best interests, I guess. It can up my bill because I can post more items than this lets me. But I'm not really fussed about. I'm happy with. I can post almost 100,000 items. In reality, I could post 100,000 items. I could post like probably 110 before my limits got hit. The thing that I'm going to be working on moving forward is getting this dollar limit increased. I want to get it up to like 10, 20, 30 million and start experimenting with just more higher priced items. Because, okay, on one hand, yeah, higher priced items are less likely to sell. Just if you look at it in a raw way, like people are more likely to buy cheaper items than they are to buy higher priced items. That's true. But is that relevant to me right now? Because another factor is that there is less competition for higher priced items because most people have account limits that get in the way, right? So why would you post one $1,000 item when you could post 10 $100 items? 10 times as many items, you know? And I think that's what most people do. So I'm hoping that with this list of really expensive items that I'm going to post, that it's actually more likely to produce sales just because there's less competition. And while I talk about the whole, like, I can sell things at high markups and I don't worry about competition, the reason I can have that mentality is because I post thousands of items at a time. I can post so many items that I can get lucky and find the items that there's less competition for, right? And sometimes I just get lucky, and for whatever reason, even though there is competition, my item still sells. And once you have a couple sales under your belt, then your listing just grows. So who knows? But yeah, this is a thing. eBay has trouble with their account limits once you get big. They just don't seem to match it. But I've heard, I haven't verified this myself, but I've heard that you actually only need to be like 50% through your limits. So maybe everything's fine. But we'll see. I'm going to max this dollar limit and try and get that increased. I can get an increase in like 2 or 3 days, so I'm pretty excited. My sales have been really good, and nowadays, I think because my eBay bill is so high, like look at this, $6,000, every time I call for an increase, they're like, yep, okay, cool, because I'm making them a lot of money. I'm not making much money for myself, at least nowhere near that much money, but next month, my bill's probably going to be substantially less. I'm trying to lower it. I think $6,000 is a bit much. But if you think about it, this has posted, the bill posted 10 days ago, right? So that was, I did owe this much money. And that's what because the bill posts, and then 30 days later, you make, or sorry, 15, you have 2 weeks once the bill posts, and then you pay it, right? So there's kind of an area where you don't have to pay for current things. I didn't explain that well at all. But basically, on the 15th, this bill posted, and then this one started. So this is going to be my next month's bill. And we're 10 days since then, so 33% through the month, and it's only $1,300, which is pretty cool. Keep in mind, almost all of this is insertion fees. And because I'm deleting all of these initial listings that would be getting posted, it's going to be like $2,000 that doesn't get spent. Not 2,000, more like 1,000. But anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it.